It is now for your comment. The floor is now open. Honourable members, in the absence of any comment, I have another statement standing in the name of Charles Forson. Honourable Charles Forson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise in my capacity as the chairman of the committee on the backbenchers business to make the statement in request. In respect of the 1 hour slot provided under Order 73 of our standing orders for the consideration of backbench business on the last Wednesday of every month. Mr. Speaker, the inclusion of the backbenchers' time in our standing orders represents a significant milestone in strengthening parliamentary democracy and promoting inclusiveness in our deliberations. It acknowledges the backbench members of Parliament It acknowledges that backbenchers members of Parliament can shape the national discourse by bringing forward matters of public interest, concern, and all legislative importance for debate in this honourable House. Mr. Speaker, as the British political scientist Philip Cole rightly said, allowing backbenchers some influence at Westminster is more than just when they speak. It is also getting the topics they want on the agenda when they want them on the agenda. This insight underscores the very essence of the concept of backbenchers business in our standing orders. Mr. Speaker, it is not merely about offering backbenchers members an opportunity to speak, but also empowering them to shape the parliamentary agenda, ensuring that voices, priorities, and realities of constituents across the country find deliberate space in the business of the House. Mr. Speaker, the Committee on Backbenchers Business was established to facilitate the process by determining the business of backbenchers for each meeting. Proposing the business for backbenchers' time and the order in which the business shall be taken, and in consultation with Business Committee, present to the House for consideration a statement on backbenchers business. Although the committee is yet to fully operationalize its mandate, the committee has been laying the groundwork to activate this important provision. Preparatory work is ongoing to establish the structures and underlines and modalities that will enable meaningful participation by all backbench members in backbench business. Mr. Speaker, given the nature of the parliamentary calendar before us, the committee recognizes that opportunities to schedule backbench business this year are limited. However, Mr. Speaker, the committee is exploring the possibility of using the October and November to pilot 2 backbench debates in consultation with leadership and the Business Committee. Mr. Speaker, this will serve as an important step towards demonstrating how backbench business can enrich our deliberations, reflect public priorities, and deepen the culture of inclusive decision-making. The committee will, in the meantime, continue to develop its operational roadmap and visibility strategy under the theme Backbench Matters to guide its full activation in the next session. Mr. Speaker, the committee therefore encourages all backbench members to prepare and submit proposals for possible consideration as backbench business in upcoming sittings. In doing so, we will be affirming Parliament's commitment to inclusivity, deliberation, and the strengthening of democratic governance. In conclusion thereof, Mr. Speaker, I wish to ensure that this House, that the Committee on Backbenchers Business remains committed to delivering on its mandate. We look forward to working collaboratively with leadership and all members to make backbench business a vibrant, meaningful, and impactful, respected part of our parliamentary practice. Mr. Speaker, I once again thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. It is now for members' comment. Yes, Honorable Kabiru.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the chairman for the Backbencher Committee, a newly established committee of Parliament, brings to the fore certain important matters that are not just affecting the backbenchers, but also the aura of this whole House. Mr. Speaker, a House that has many backbenchers or many first-timers, the use of the word backbenchers has always been associated with timidity, associated with newness, associated with lack of competence. And, Mr. Speaker, it's so unfortunate to know that Honorable Member for Myong and the Honorable Member for Nantong nearly lost their seats by way of by-election when they reported that they were members of the Backbencher Committee, because it brought a lot of public debate in the northern region that their members, for the first time in Parliament, are not given any committee, but they were given a committee of backbenchers. Mr. Speaker, it is the perception of the House outside, of the people outside of the House, that backbenchers committee is meant for people who don't have the capacity to participate in debate. But far from the truth, Mr. Speaker, we will need to rebrand. We will need to rebrand this backbencher committee, and that is essentially what the leader of the committee is doing. Mr. Speaker, there are important issues. Mr. Speaker, there are important issues that we need to face. The time allocated for the backbenchers should not just be that time, but there must be conscious effort that when the Mr. Speaker is on the chair, there should be conscious efforts of catching the eye, your eye catching the backbenchers. For instance, the Honorable Member for Binduri is at the far end there. Mr. Speaker, without conscious effort, you will not recognize him. The newly elected member for Tamba Central, Professor Ali Sedu, is behind the wall. Without conscious effort, Mr. Speaker, you will not recognize him. The new member for Akotia, our colleague Enes was even better because he was sitting right behind me. He is sitting right behind the wall. Mr. Speaker, without conscious effort, you will not recognize him. So there's a need behind the pillar. There's a need for, Mr. Speaker, for there to be conscious effort in recognizing backbenchers.
Honourable Member, do you mean to say sitting behind the pillar or wall?
Mr. Speaker, I corrected that by saying behind the pillar. Mr. Speaker, as a matter of fact, it's within the walls of Parliament, but he's sitting behind the pillar. So thank you very much for the guidance. I thought that's what Bonner Bejer wanted to correct. So, Mr. Speaker, the time allocated for backbenchers or the business of backbenchers must be resourced for the backbenchers to be able to contribute meaningfully to the debate of this House. There's a lot of capacity, Mr. Speaker. The people who are newcomers or the newcomers of this House, they have so much fire in their bellies. They have so much capacity. They have so much talent they want to unleash. But with that opportunity given to them, Mr. Speaker, they will not be able to show to the good people what they have in store. So I'm just urging this House that the statement read by the leader of the backbenchers committee should be taken seriously and consequential direction be made so that that committee to be established, that secretariat would be engaging regularly. For instance, we can organize orientation for our newcomers, our juniors who have just come.
Do you say the committee should be established?
Mr. I said the committee intends establishing a secretariat.
Very well.
And that secretariat has to be resourced to be able to do the work as expected. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I want to thank the leader of the backbenchers for the brilliant statement and to say that at least my honorable colleague from Nantong and Myong, the perception, they should keep that in the heart. The perception that backbenchers is associated with incompetence should be done away with. They are very capable members of Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Very well. I will give the floor to Honorable Bajra.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me commend the chair of the Backbenchers Caucus who made a statement on behalf of the members of the backbenchers, and also for the fact that this parliament has established a caucus called the Backbenchers Caucus. Mr. Speaker, this is for an illustration and for education of the public. Now, when you come to our standing orders, page 2, order 6, it says that a backbencher means a person who has served not more than 2 parliamentary terms and is not a minister of state, part of leadership of the House, or leadership for a committee, except the person or ranking member of the backbenchers committee. So clearly, it is not for first-timers, Mr. Speaker. Backbenchers are for those who even serve more than once, and they are here for the second time. And that they are not either with the extended leadership, that is chairman, ranking members, deputy, or not. So you can be here for 2 terms, you are still a backbencher. Backbencher is a terminology coin. We all read Eskime. It's simply to identify a group of people as has been identified by this. Mr. Speaker, order 2, 3, the order that talks about backbenchers. 236 talks about backbenchers. Mr. Speaker, 236 states clearly that the committee on backbenchers businesses comprise the chairperson, ranking member, a vice chairperson, a deputy ranking member, who are backbenchers and are not more than 15 other backbenchers. I've already defined who backbenchers are. The committee, Mr. Speaker, shall determine the business of the backbenchers for each meeting, purpose of the businesses for backbenchers, time and the order in which the business shall be taken. In consultation with the business committee, present to the House for consideration a statement on backbenchers business. Clearly, this parliament has given enough power to members of the backbenchers. You have time that you can even make statements. You can bring issues of public interest, and that is solely limited for backbenchers. And those of us who are here for more than 3 terms will not even have an opportunity to contribute, Mr. Speaker. And so it should be known to all of us that being a backbencher, it is not a sin. It has nothing to do with any, or whether it's derogatory. It has nothing to do with anybody at all. It is just that we also came. You'll be here for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th term, and some are here for the 6th term. So if you are here for the 1st and 2nd term, try and enjoy the backbenchers caucus because it will do you a lot of good. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable member.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me commend our chairperson of Backbenchers Committee for bringing this issue up to the fore. Mr. Speaker, when we came into this House the very first time, we realized from the standing orders that this standing orders has given a lot of clarity to the backbenchers, the scope, what it's supposed to do, as a way of building capacity, training young MPs who have come, and give us opportunity to be able to express ourselves and contribute positively to the business of the House. Mr. Speaker, my senior colleague, Emmanuel Bedra, has given some perspective as to the scope of the composition of backbenchers. And if, as he clearly read, you have backbenchers consisting of 1st and 2nd timers. And so the intention or the impression that backbenchers are solely 1st timers is to be corrected. And I think he has made that very clear. But importantly, it is for good reason that the House created what we call the backbenchers time. The backbenchers time, as you read in the standing orders order 6,
He's not on WhatsApp.
says that backbenchers time means a time set aside for backbenchers to make statements, to present petitions, move motions, or initiate private members' bill. So clearly, these are some of the things or the opportunities that are given to backbenchers. My difficulty has been how leadership, if I say leadership, the leader of government business, has not taken much in ensuring that the business of backbenchers are taken into consideration and addressed as. If you look at Order 73, Order 73 says that the House shall allot 1 hour on the last Wednesday of a month for the consideration determined business for backbenchers. So clearly the standing orders have made provision as to when the backbenchers' time is allotted. And over how many months now that we've been in this chamber, that specific last Wednesday time for backbenchers' business has not been observed. And it is because reasonably, either the business of the House is overwhelming us, or we have not really seen this provision that is made under this backbenchers' time as an opportunity to build up the capacity and the strength of backbenchers. Mr. Speaker, I think from this particular statement that the chairperson of backbenchers committee has brought to the fore, we are going to look actively at it much more. But just Kabiru also indicated, in this House, we have leadership, we have senior members, and we have backbenchers. So as much as possible, we will be looking forward to Speaker allowing backbenchers a little more flexibility. We learn in the course of our engagement in this House, we make mistakes, and then it is on the side of the Speaker and other leadership to guide and build members from the backbench so that reasonably over time, we would all have the ability to do the work and be strong and contribute meaningfully to the business of this House. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, it is my hope that the time allotted for backbenchers, as stipulated in our standing orders, effective this third meeting, would be seriously looked at. We commit ourselves to it. We will push our committee leadership to engage the business committee to make sure that in the course of every month, at least the business of backbenchers is provided. There's clarity as to what we are going to do on that day. And then we build a better and a stronger parliament, starting from the backbench. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the statement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister responsible for education. I'll come to you, Honorable Minister for Energy.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity to contribute to the statement ably made by the Honorable Forson, asking for the Backbenchers Day. And Mr. Speaker, to remind us that all of us entered this House as backbenchers. On your day of entry is your day you are emerging having been elected as Member of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, parliamentary practice, we are told throughout the world, is based on experience. That is why it's my wish that every backbencher will have an opportunity to rise through the ranks, through the middle bench, even to become the front bench and to lead. But they can only lead if we give them an opportunity to learn. But Mr. Speaker, they themselves must be ready to learn. And when we say they must be ready to learn, in particular for Ghana, two important things. Is the Member of Parliament familiar with the provisions of the 1992 Constitution? Yes, he must. If for nothing, from Article 106 to 124, every Member of Parliament must keep a memory of it. If he is the kind of member like the Honorable Abu Jinapo, then he can add the chapters on fundamental human rights and freedoms, because Parliament is the guardian of those rights and freedoms. You can add it to 106 so that you learn the section that deals with. Because in a country where there is rule of law, the most fundamental thing would be, so that's why this house at all times, when the right and freedom of any person is infringed upon, we must be worried and concerned, because that is the gravest threat to the practice of democracy. But Mr. Speaker, in discussing backbenchers day, I'm happy your clerks at table are here. This house, we must improve upon our own practice. I recall, Mr. Speaker, your good self, you were in the meeting. Even in Akusumbo, when we went through the long period from, I should pay respect to the Honorable Papo Owusu Ankuma, Yilechre, and the rest, when they said that Parliament must change its standing orders. I recall, Mr. Speaker, in one of the meetings where you were, I contested, but I was defeated. Today, I'm honored. I kept telling them to declare a minority day in the standing orders of this house, and that day must be solely reserved as a minority day, because, Mr. Speaker, the best way to enrich democracy is to have the views of the other side, the opposite side of the aisle. I recall, in fact, Mr. Speaker, I had traveled with one of you to the L'Assemblée Nationale, the French National Assembly, and another assembly in Sri Lanka and India with the Honorable Osechi Mensah. And I even carried a book to this Parliamentary Review Committee. There was a book written by one of the authorities on rules and procedure. And I drew Parliament's attention that declare a minority day, a day the minority can move a motion. And Mr. Speaker, you recall, I came here with you after we left school. You remember the same year. You remember my popular Edumdumadum Bejai. It was a motion. Bejai, you were here with the Honorable Kandapa and co, with the Hackman and co. So Backbenchers Day, Mr. Speaker, we need to have a dedicated time for the political opposition. Constructive alternatives, not just commentary. Not just commentary. And Mr. Speaker, I've said it repeatedly. The day the Parliament of Ghana will sit right, the Ghanaian people will smile. Because a lot of the wrongs in this country is because Parliament sits and allows it. Why are we having problem with debt? Forgive me, Mr. Speaker. I heard President Nana Addo Dankwa in Brussels lamenting about excessive borrowing and what debt exchange has done to him. The darkest hour. How did the dark hour happen? Because the Parliament of Ghana failed to limit him and to remind him that yes, you have the powers, but don't borrow excessively. You may disagree. I know you are his special aide. I know that. I know you are his special aide. But Mr. Speaker, I wholeheartedly support that we give backbenchers an opportunity. Then finally, Mr. Speaker, my comment, which you personally have been concerned. When they bring reports to this chamber, how many backbenchers or even frontbenchers want to read the report? Please, when they bring reports, do we go through the report in order to understand what is in the report? So backbenchers must be ready to learn. And to learn is easy. Master the standing orders. And then sometimes, Mr. Speaker, leaders. When I see leaders in front shouting, that's not for leaders to do. If you are a good leader, you must have those who will do that for you. I saw them a while talk about LGBTQ and the Honorable Habib. Interesting times in Ghana. You were in Ghana. Parliament passed the law. Nana Addo Dankwa was in breach of the Constitution. You didn't have the voice. He didn't read Article 106, 106.7.8. Read it. He was in breach. If Parliament gives a bill to the President and he can assent or not assent, the Constitution provides what he should do. Did you do that? Then you allow it to lapse. Then today we are discussing the same matter. I heard the leader talk about there was no administrative error, but there was a constitutional error. The Constitution is elaborate. What do you do? It's not to say that President Akufo-Addo can't disagree with Parliament, but if he disagrees, convey it back to Parliament that I disagree with you and this is my reasoning. I will not do it because of this reason. we should pass it. Or I simply would have ended by saying, why didn't you pass it? But it will be passed. Thank you.
Yes, former Minister for Lands.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this very important subject. Mr. Speaker, I must confess that when I first had the privilege of coming into this House in 2021, Mr. Speaker, I was also at a loss as to what constitutes a backbencher. Mr. Speaker, I will see it appears that the framers of our standing orders, pursuant to Order 6, headed interpretation, have attempted to define what constitutes a backbencher. Mr. Speaker, the relevant provisions have been copiously quoted, and I do not intend to repeat. But, Mr. Speaker, it is clear that our Parliament equates a backbencher from the interpretation to term of office, to tenure of office. How many terms have you been in Parliament? Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Minister for Education and MP for Tamale South talks about alternative ways of formulating our standing orders. And I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that part of the problem I believe we have is the definition, the very definition of who constitutes a backbencher. Mr. Speaker, to that end, I will respectfully refer the House to the House of Commons, the Parliament of Great Britain, which is said to be the mother of all parliaments. Mr. Speaker, in 1945, when Prime Minister Winston Churchill lost to the opposition leader Clement Attlee, he had been in Parliament for several terms, but Prime Minister Winston Churchill, having been booted out of government, moves from the very first front bench to the back bench. He became a backbencher. Mr. Speaker, Theresa May, I believe even up till now, is still in the House of Commons. She's a former Prime Minister. She's a backbencher. Mr. Speaker, the leader of the opposition for a long time, Jeremy Corbyn, leader of Labour Party, was a frontbencher like the minority leader, former minority leader Haruna Idrisu, and many others. When he was no longer the leader of the opposition, Mr. Speaker, he became a backbencher. But, Mr. Speaker, the problem we have here is that, so for example, the Honourable Haruna Idrisu was in Parliament in 2005. He became a minister in 2009, Minister for Communication. By this definition, at the time, he was a backbencher. So, Speaker, there are advantages for our system, and yes, he was. By this definition, he was a backbencher. Mr. Speaker, I see my big brother,
Can you read
Minister.
The definition in
Mr.
Order
Speaker,
6?
let me read the definition.
Loud and clear.
Let me read it. No.
Because it's not only using the
Mr.
number
Speaker,
of terms you are in Parliament.
Let me read it, Mr.
Yes.
Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me read it. I'm saying that he came into Parliament in 2005. He came into Parliament in 2005. In 2009, he was a second termer. So, Speaker, if he was not a minister in 2009, by this definition, he will be a backbencher.
Yes, now you are talking, but that wasn't what you said initially.
Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that by this definition, if he wasn't a minister of communication in 2009, he will be a backbencher.
Yes, now you are correct, but initially you were wrong.
Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. But what is the point? Mr. Speaker, what's the point I'm making? Mr. Speaker, the point I'm making is that the contribution from the Minister for Education about learning, what it would have meant, Mr. Speaker, what it would have meant if we were practicing the British system will be that a first-timer could be seated right here behind the pillar and seated by a former prime minister or seated by a former minister or a former ranking member. So there is something, in my view, respectfully, anomalous with the definition of backbencher, which is tied up solely to term of office.
No, that is why you are wrong.
Mr. Speaker,
look at the
Mr. Speaker,
definition.
if I can conclude, Mr. Speaker, if I
Read,
conclude,
read the
Mr. Speaker,
definition
if I can
carefully.
conclude, which is tied up to term of office, to leadership, and to ministerial portfolio. No, but in Britain, in the House of Commons, Mr. Speaker, backbenching is tied up to either being a member of the shadow government or being a member of His Majesty's government. Mr. Speaker, the question about term of office only arises solely on account of who is the father of the house. Term of office doesn't come in when it comes to backbenching or frontbenching. Mr. Speaker, frontbenching and backbenching is tied up to either being a member of government or a member of the shadow government. Your role in government or your role in opposition. Mr. Speaker, that is why, for example, the 1922 committee, which is a backbenching committee, is arguably one of the most powerful committees in the Conservative Party in the House of Commons, which even in many cases is capable of toppling the Prime Minister. So the point is that, yes, the point is being made, give backbenchers opportunity and so on and so on. But my view, and I want to conclude on that, and I'm not here to question the standing orders, but perhaps we should take a cue from the Minister for Education in further interrogating the provisions of this standing order, that if we are actually going to be in a position where first-timers, let me put it that way, or second-timers get the opportunity to contribute and represent fully in this House, we may have to look at the definition of backbencher again, and perhaps take inspiration from the Mother of all Parliament. But Speaker, once I have the opportunity, President Akufo-Addo, former President Akufo-Addo, never, Mr. Speaker, he never apologized and never said anything to the effect that the debt overhang was something he did as a president or his government did, which was what he sought to say, Mr. Speaker.
Were you there
this is
with
a House
them?
of Records. This is a House of Records.
Honorable,
so once
Honorable
it's been
former
said,
minister,
if I may give the opportunity
were you
to just
there with
clarify.
them?
Pardon?
The former minister for the current minister for education makes reference to him meeting the president outside and the conversation between them.
He said the president said something at a conference in Brussels. He said he made a point publicly in Brussels. What the former president said was that was his darkest moment, but that it was absolutely necessary. And further said it is a reason why we are enjoying some relative stability in the macroeconomic sector of our country. That is what the former president said. What the Minister of Education said was totally misleading. Thank you very much, Speaker, for the opportunity.
Minister for Energy and Green Transition.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, whether Muhammad went to the mountain or the mountain went to Muhammad, at least there's some movement. And whether Jonah swallowed the whale or the whale swallowed Jonah, there's a swallow. Mr. Speaker, this is a very interesting topic, and I find it very, very intriguing. Indeed, listening to my colleagues, I'm very happy and proud to be a member of this parliament. It is true that in the British Parliament, tenure of office is not the major determining factor of whether you are a frontbencher or a backbencher. But in the British Parliament, the opposition side mirrors the government side because it's a Westminster system. So in as much as the person is a minister, that person is a member of Parliament. And that is why you see shadow minister, but here we don't use shadow minister. Can you imagine placing the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, as experienced as he is, in the backbench role in Ghana's Parliament? And that is why every parliament is shaped by its culture, by its ethics, and by its practices. So if we determine that having somebody like the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, having spent all this number of years here, he should not, 21 years. If you were a lady, you should be getting ready to get married at 21. That's a real That's a real experience. So can you imagine putting the Honorable Haruna Idrisu in the category of backbench? It cannot work. And so I find wisdom in deciding that the tenure of office or your years of experience ought to determine where you sit. And even in this parliament, when we are doing sitting arrangements, your years of experience counts a lot. So I think that we shouldn't discount that at all. I can only relate to the Honorable Haruna Idrisu. When I entered here as a first time, a lot of people thought I stayed here for some time. And it's because people like Haruna Idrisu mentored us, and not just mentored us, they gave us the opportunity to speak. And for me, that is critical. On very critical matters, if it's for 4 people, they will pick 3 front benches and add a back bencher. And he will sit with you, walk you through, and show you how to speak. For me, that is more practical, that is more efficient, because if you allocate a day and say this day is for back benches, like Kabiru said, it connotes a certain mentality. So, Mr. Speaker, you may, as Speaker, want to guide us, but I would only appeal to leadership and to yourself that even as we debate the key issues, once in a while you can identify a backbencher. And I recall Professor Michael Quay, anytime we spoke, myself and Adongo, he would invite us to his office and encourage us because he believed in in-depth knowledge analysis. And sometimes even when he's giving you 3 minutes, when he realized that you are churning out facts and quoting, he will give you extra 2 minutes and say that this is bonus for exhibiting knowledge and a sense of maturity. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for giving me this opportunity. We are still learning. This parliament has been around for a while. We'll continue to learn from people like you. I don't think that we need to change the current rendition of who is a backbencher. But I think that it is the approach and how we go about it that I think we should tinker with. On this note, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, leaders.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to also add my voice and comment on the statement made by the chairman of the backbenchers committee. Mr. Speaker, I think we are all saying the same thing, except that we are missing the UK system and the Ghana system. UK, they are running this opposition and government form of parliament. We in Ghana here, we have the majority and the minoritarian form of legislation. In essence, it means that in Ghana, you can be majority and it will not just be like one party that is majority. It could be a combination of parties to form majority, as what happened in last parliament, in the 8th parliament, where we, the MPP majority, we had 137. Our colleagues in the NDC had 137, but the independents elected to do business with us for us forming the majority party in the parliament. So trying to actually compare in terms of parliamentary system with regards to the Ghana system and the UK system will be very difficult to compare. And when many of them are making statements to the effect that many people enter the chamber as backbenchers. It's not everybody who entered parliament as a backbencher. I was fortunate. I didn't enter this chamber as a backbencher. I entered this parliament as a leader of this house. So people are fortunate and are lucky to be able to learn and then be able to have the opportunity to do so many things. But this parliament is, especially with the minority side, we are very unique. Like the Honorable Abu Jinapo, when he entered parliament, he entered as a minister. So if you look at our standing order in Order 6 on the interpretation, it made it clear, as a minister, he was not...
That may be applicable to you, but that is not applicable to a minister.
Mr. Speaker, if you read the interpretation...
You, the day of entry, you have been made a leader, but he entered before he's been appointed as a minister. So he didn't enter the way you entered.
Mr. Speaker, I am guided. And I think even you, JJ, you, energy minister, you entered as a backbencher. I didn't enter as a backbencher. So allow me to make, what's the difference? So allow me to make my point. I am your leader. Mr. Speaker, even though Dr. Kabiru tried mentioning many other names, you could see that some of our first-time MPs, especially in the minority side, hardly will you be able to identify they are even first-timer or backbenchers when they are on their feet. The quality of their debates, the depth analysis that they have when they are... Mr. Speaker, at a point, the majority agree. At a point, the majority agree the quality of the minority. That is why the majority leader proposed that we shall allow 3 of them to speak and 1 of us will speak. Because he knew the quality we had on our side. He knew the quality that we had on our side. So, Mr. Speaker, this statement made by the chairman of the backbenchers committee, but I want to call on him that he has every power under our standing order in 236. It has given him the power under order 236. And if he, Mr. Speaker, because it says that they must determine that's 2362, that the committee shall determine the business of the backbenchers for each meeting. So if he sit down with his committee members, they can determine what they want to do. They can propose the business for the backbenchers, the time and order in which the business shall be taken, and relate with the business committee. So I want to call on him that within the standing orders, he has some powers as to what he is seeking, even though this statement is very important. And then we have a lot of people here, the education minister, who is a former leader, just left. They can guide. They can be able to inspire. That is why when you see that those who are on our side, the first timers, when they get up, I call them sharpshooters. Mr. Speaker, you see that one of our minority first timers will make a statement or contribute to a debate. It will take close to 10 of the majority to make statement that will be equivalent to that, Mr. Speaker. Because of the quality that we have, because of the nurturing that we have. Mr. Speaker, what we have been able to do and successfully done is that...
Honorable Habib, you have been in this house for some time, and then you are a leader, and you must be guided as such.
Mr. Speaker, I am guided, and I will depart from where I was going, except to add that the quality of the members of the minority caucus is very solid. And Mr. Speaker, the seniors, Honorable Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, Abu and Co., they have members who are first time that they are nurturing, they are guiding, and they are showing them as to how to do and be able to debate. I don't think our colleagues on this side are doing that because there are too many. They don't even have time for their colleagues. But our side, we have the quality to be able to guide our colleagues.
Yes, Honorable Zanato.
Thank you. I'm rising on a point of order. I don't think that it is accurate. To be quite honest, I think the leader is misleading the House, because to say that on this side we are not mentoring is presumptuous and it's wrong. So kindly correct yourself. If you know of anyone who is not mentoring somebody else, feel free to say so, but don't generalize. I think it's wrong to do so.
Mr. Speaker, I think Honorable Zanato. Okay, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Zainab. Mr. Speaker.
You see, Honorable Habib, with all due respect, having regard to your position as front bench, some statement ought not to have been coming from you only for them to be taking point of order. That's why I am providing a guard to you. Leadership has a way of speaking on the floor of Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, I am guided. And in fact, I was speaking... Mr. Speaker, I'm guided. And I was speaking about the quality of my MPs. Mr. Speaker, I was speaking about... I know my side. I can't speak for the majority. So, Mr. Speaker, with these few words, I think this statement is very important. And I call on the chairman of the committee to do more so that he will be able to come out with programs, come out with workshops to be able to enhance the capacity of his members. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, before giving the floor to the Deputy Majority Leader, let me indicate that when I came to Parliament, I learned a lot from the front. And let me also state that sometimes we take things lightly. Other than that, certain things that we say on the floor of Parliament can be a subject matter of privileges. It can actually be a subject matter of privileges under our own standing orders. So please, let us all be guided. And then we need to speak with that guidance in mind. Yes, Deputy Majority Leader. Yes.
I'm very much aware my boss has spoken, so there wouldn't be the platform. But since it's just an engagement for members, I just pray that you would permit me to make a very...
Well, I'm taking one from leadership each. So once he has spoken, you know the rules.
Yes, Speaker.
Yeah, so once you know the rules,
Speaker, you always indulge us.
I owe fidelity to the law. So
Speaker, to the extent that when the LGBTQ cannot be found.
Deputy Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to take the opportunity to congratulate. Actually, two statements were made, and the leadership did not get to comment on. We were talking about the last one, but there was actually a first statement that was made by Honorable Dr. Senator Ajiman Rawlings, and other statement made by the chairman of the backbenchers. So I want to take the opportunity to thank them for both statements made. Mr. Speaker, I think all these things we are talking about, backbenchers and all that, these are all mostly British legacy, which we have copied and adapted and upgraded. Mr. Speaker, we can define what our own backbenchers should be, and that is what we have done. What I notice is that in our standing orders, what we have as a function, and this is, if you look at page 133, where the function of the Committee on Backbenchers is given, you realize that much is not actually there. Because we have not, apart from these functions we have here, with all the new committees we have put in standing orders, we haven't actually developed the manuals that goes with this committee to know exactly what a backbencher should actually be doing. So I think we should actually speed up on these manuals for backbenchers to be able to know what their functions are. And then, of course, the definitions we have provided here on who a backbencher is. But I think importantly, it's actually what the backbencher is actually supposed to do. They are actually supposed to also be learning from us, the leaders or those who have been here. So the things we do and say are things that are taken up by the backbenchers to develop to what they will eventually become. So as you have rightly directed, I think we should be very careful on the things that we say so that our backbenchers don't pick the wrong signals or the wrong things to do. On the second one, which is to do with the maritime security matter that the honourable member raised, I think that's a very, very important one. And it's quite alarming that we have this maritime crime going on, the piracy and all that. But actually, as a country, whether a standalone laws or the ones we have in some conventions, we have not even adopted them well. And our standalone ones cannot stand the test of time. And it is important that with the recommendations my honorable sister has given, for the Ministry of Transport to quickly come with a bill to upgrade the old laws that we have that are not actually functioning or workable, so that we can upgrade these things. There is also a lot of technology out there which is being used in a fight of maritime crime in terms of maritime security. Because maritime security, Mr. Speaker, is not only the security aspect of it, but there's also an economic and defense risk. And therefore, it is important that we bring our laws up to speed, the technology to fight these things also up to speed, and of course, engage the communities which are usually within the fishing areas to be well educated and be aware what is going on around them so that we can actually defend our frontiers as we should do as a country. Mr. Speaker, with these 3 words, I would like to end here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, when I declined the request of the Deputy Whip, that was uproar. It is for a stated reason. That's why a chief will always speak last. There is a reason why leaders speak last. When there is a mistake from your bank, the leader can intervene and correct that particular mistake. So after giving the opportunity to the leader to speak, you don't open the floor for any other person behind him to also speak. That is why. So it's not proper that after giving the leader the opportunity to speak, then you go and then give the floor to a person behind him to also speak. So we as speakers are guided by some of those things. So it's not that you have a discretion to give and you are refusing to give that particular discretion. So, honourable members, those who do not know should take it from now that if you are even up and somebody from your front is up to speak, I can't ignore the person in front, that's the senior, to recognize you at the back. So all these things must guide us as members of Parliament. Honourable members, statement time is ended. Yes, Deputy Majority Leader, any indication?
Mr. Speaker, we've been here for less than 5 hours, so
yes.
We are in your hands. Thank you.
Well, less than 5 hours, you have to move a motion. Understanding Order 156.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, I move that this House adjourn till tomorrow, 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Honorable Ahmed.
Speaker, motion is seconded. Except that the 189, we can see 32.
Honorable members, the motion has been moved and seconded, and the question is, as many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The House is accordingly adjourned till Thursday, 23rd October 2025 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.